here at home. Wake Forest in black, Pitt in white. We are underway in the ACC. And it's the Demon Deacons that start with the ball. Wake Forest off a long 9-day layoff since they last played on Big Monday in a loss to North Carolina.
Pitt, Jay, comes out in man-to-man. Defending the three-point line is going to be key in this game for both teams. Two of the better teams at making threes in this league.
Swatted, great defense by Zach Austin all over Boopy Miller. There's still 2 seconds on the shot clock here.
And Wake, one of the better offensive teams in the ACC. As you take a look at their starting five, deep in the shot clock, though, on their first possession.
Shot clock violation. You do wonder in the middle of the season where all these games are coming fast and furious in ACC play, it's rare that you would have 9 days off in between games, especially Wake in that game just shot 3 of 20 from 3, a season low.
And I think that's a theme we're going to watch in this game. When you have that type of long layoff, will they be rusty to start off this game?
Here's Hunter Sallis. He's been the go-to guy all season for the Demon Deacons. And his fellow transfer, Efton Reid, trying to muscle on Federico and opens the scoring. Efton Reid.
Jay, that is all set up because Wake is such a good three-point shooting team. You have to be out on the shooters and allowing Efton Reid to work. He has been such a huge addition to this Wake Forest team. The 7-footer transfer from Gonzaga.
Pull up, hop up, Carrington, nothing but the bottom of the net. A star freshman continues what has been a terrific first campaign here at Pitt.
And you're absolutely right. He is a star in the making, one of the best freshman guards, not just in the ACC, but in college basketball.
Foul called. Wake Forest is going right at Federico tonight. And Steve Forbes, head coach of the Demon Deacons, he has been effusive in his praise for Efton Reid. Since Reid's return, this Wake team 9-3, and I think with him in the lineup, they've proven they're a top 25 team in the nation.
No doubt. I absolutely agree, and I think this is a dimension he adds to this team, a post presence. And that's all set up because you have to double Reid. Excellent pass that time out of the double team. And again, if you don't defend the three-point line against Wake, they will make you pay.
Reid and Sallis both coming over from Gonzaga. Tough to find 2 more impact transfers in the country. Carrington, back-to-back buckets for the freshman.
Well, he does not play like a freshman. His basketball IQ off the charts. That's a big-time move. Snake the screen and then hold off the defender.
Carr trying to keep it in play, gave it away. Here's Jalen Lowe, the fellow freshman in the backcourt, swings it to Austin on the drive. 10 on the timer. Lowe leaves it for Federico, who draws the foul.
And Jay, this is the dimension that Efton Reid brings to this Wake team. Again, you have to double him if he gets it going. That's a beautiful play out of the double team. And then right here, the freshman playing like a veteran. That's a beautiful move. Snake the ball screen, hold off the defender, and then shoot in the mid-range. Jeff Capel and staff have really found another really a good young freshman point guard.
So you mentioned, Huck, 2 teams that are not shy to let it fly, 2 of the best shooting teams really in the ACC in the country, and both of these guys, Sallis and Hinson, can light it up.
I tell you what, the pickup, Sallis, you talked about it, transfer from Gonzaga, and then Hinson, for me, he is a guy that can go on a 10-0 run by himself. One of the quickest releases in college basketball. So again, if you like offense and three-point shooting, you're at the right station.
Wake Forest fans need no reminder of what Blake Hinson can do. He had 8 threes in this matchup a year ago, part of a program record 18. And it's interesting, Wake Forest, they're committed to going inside to start this game. All 7 points have come from the paint to start this matchup.
And early on, Reid, more of a passer out of that double team. He's doing a great job reading the double team, and then he's finding guys. That time, the cutter.
Low turnaround, contested, and he hits it. Jalen Lowe. These freshmen continue to show up and show out for Pitt.
That's great footwork, little reverse pivot, and again, both these young guards excellent in the mid-range.
Everything's been generated from down low. Even the Sallis 3 came off a Reid pass. And here's Reid passing again out of the post. Carr drills it from deep. Andrew Carr registers a triple, and Wake Forest firing on all cylinders early.
And Reid right now, give him an assist for that. That's the hockey assist. That's set up and started because he makes an excellent cross-court pass out of the double. Right now, Pitt's going to have to do a better job disguising their double team. Right now, Reid's just reading it, and then he's making an excellent pass out of the double team.
Getting it done on both ends, Efton Reid to start this game. Wake has made 4 in a row. They've had a hot hand early. Sallis lines it up and drills it. Hunter Sallis, he's got 2 triples early.
Well, Jeff Capel, we were at shoot-around, and the emphasis was that right there. Defending the three-point line. Now, that's a switch. Great read by Boopy Miller. Had a big on him, went right at him, dribble drive, and then pass to a wide-open shooter.
Hinson splits the double team and cashes in. Pittsburgh desperately needed that, ending a 6-0 Wake mini run. Wake shooting 5 of 6 to start this game, including the last 5 all makes. Although Boopy Miller misses that layup. Austin, the trailer, can't knock it down. Sallis going coast to coast. Hunter Sallis, he is on fire. 8 points already out of the Demon Deacons 15.
2 things Jeff Capel talked about at shoot-around keys. Defend the three-point line and then transition defense. Again, Wake, one of the better scoring teams in the ACC. They lead it right now, but that guy right there is the answer.
Blake Hinson spins his way into a 3. We mentioned the last time these 2 teams met, Pitt hit a program record 18 threes. Hinson had 8 of them. Reid didn't get it off cleanly. Great defense, Federico. These teams shooting a combined 11 of 15 to start this game. Sallis draws the foul on the floor. If you like good shooting, Huck, you found the right game on a Wednesday night.
If you like three-point shooting and offense, you're at the right spot. Hunter Sallis with the 3. And then Blake Hinson put him in the spin cycle. One of the quickest releases in college basketball.
Head coach Steve Forbes is dominating the transfer portal better than anybody else since it has really taken off in the last 3 years. This year, no different. The 2 guys coming over from Gonzaga, Sallis and Reid, and then Boopy Miller, who's got a great name but a better game. That trio has been terrific for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, and I think Miller obviously putting up some great numbers. But for me, Sallis and Reid, 2 guys coming over from Gonzaga, the jump that they have had in production, you look at it, 1 rebound per game for Efton Reid last year with the Zags, jumps up to close to 9, and then Hunter Sallis really having a phenomenal start to the ACC conference play for Wake.
just been this season. Alondis Williams, Tyree Appleby, two guys that come in and both become first-team All-ACC players. And he's really shown over the last 3 seasons that he can consistently bring in top talent via the portal.
And I think, though, he's got a great eye for guys that fit his system. Again, it's one thing to bring in guys. It's another thing for them to be the right fit. A lot of credit to Coach Forbes and his staff. And then the player development piece. Look, he's done a good job turning some guys that really, again, nobody really thought was going to turn into NBA prospects. Those guys are playing for paychecks now.
Leggett trying to spin his way free. Couldn't quite create the right angle there. Hunter Sallis with 8 of the Demon Deacons' 15. Has it here. With 10 seconds to shoot. Fredrickson with 3. Has to hoist it at the end of the shot clock. He didn't have nearly enough on it. Great defense by Pitt. The Panthers trying to clamp down after a hot start offensively by Wake Forest. We've got a good one here in the ACC. Wake started this game shooting 5 of 6 from the floor since 1 of 6, and it's because Pittsburgh has really dialed it in on defense.
And the key right here, watch Federico hedge on the ball screen. That is so key. That disrupted the offensive flow of Wake's half-court set. And that's all set up by all 5 guys being connected. And Jay, I think the key thing as you take a look at Steve Forbes frustrated with that, Federico, the key thing for him and what makes him special for this Pitt team, how he defends ball screens. That is so key, speaking to the coaching staff. Excellent job that time disrupting Wake Forest's offense.
And Efton Reid was off the floor during that cold spell. I have to think that the offense has been working through Reid, foul called against Pitt on the rebound. And with him on the floor, he just gives the Demon Deacons such a big presence.
And you're absolutely right. I think on both ends, we talked about it, close to 2 blocks per game, so he's providing some rim protection. I think the biggest thing, though, offensively, it allows them to have somebody that they can dump the ball down low to and play through in the post to go along with all the excellent shooters they have.
Trying to squeeze it into Reid, read well and intercepted by Leggett. Here's Carrington in attack mode. Pulls up. Can't connect this time. Hinson, great defense. He brings so much energy and passion to the game, Blake Hinson.
And he's leaned out, again, really worked on all aspects of his game. And credit, again, Jeff Capel and staff. They do a great job in terms of the player development piece. And Henson's added some twist to his game. Everybody knows he can shoot, but now he's playing a lot more in the post and also off the bounce.
That drops in for Hunter Sallis, ends a 3-minute scoring drought for the Demon Deacons. Sallis with 10 of Wake's 17 in this first half.
And that's a great pull-up jumper that time, the previous possession for Sallis. Again, playing off of 2 feet. Look at this right here. Again, change direction and then up off of 2 feet. Young players take note. Wake does a really good job having their guards and wings play off of 2 feet once they get into the paint.
Monsanto transition 3, and he's fouled. It's been great to see Damari Monsanto back in the lineup with Wake Forest. This is his 3rd game back from injury. He has overcome 3 season-ending injuries throughout his career. To get him back on the court, a huge testament to the character and the mental fortitude that young man has.
And shoot around this afternoon, Pitt. He's also one of the more lethal 3-point shooters.
Oh, yeah.
already 2 games, 6 threes. And right there again, that was something Pitt worked on in shoot-around closeouts, in particular on Monsanto. They said, look, you must be there on the catch. That time they're late, and he makes them pay from the free throw line.
An 8-point lead for the Demon Deacons in what would be a critical road win. Wake has been terrific at home, 11-0, just 2-6 away from home. And this would be a quad 1 road win. The best win you can get in terms of an NCAA tournament resume.
Blake Hinson felt he was hit on that turnaround.
And the scoring drought is now 4 minutes for Pitt. So while the defense has improved for the Panthers, the offense has fallen into a scoring drought of 4 minutes, and Jeff Capel told us that they need to be able to weather those storms. Blake Hinson heads out to the Pitt bench. Panthers have missed their last 6 shots. So Jeff Capel said at shoot-around today, we're going to go through a period tonight where the shots aren't falling. We just can't let our opponents separate during that time.
And I think the big thing is growth, right? Again, they're starting 2 young backcourt players. Jay, I think weathering those storms starts on this end right here. See if you can get some stops and then try to get out in transition if you're this Pitt team.
Reid going right at Diaz Graham, and that's too easy for Efton Reid.
They're going to have to double. Again, right there, he's giving up a lot of weight and strength. They're going to have to double quick because right now, Reid catching the ball deep in the post. This is what he brings right here. Look at this. Again, squaring up. You have to honor the three-point shooters, and then that's just too deep. Diaz has got to do a better job of pushing him out of the paint. When he allows him to back down and get 2 feet in the paint, he's going to score, or you're going to have to put him on the free throw line.
7-0 run for the Demon Deacons as Wake starts to separate on the road. Fredrickson. Great fake, steps back. It doesn't drop. Carrington, he's been the catalyst tonight.
And I really like how Carrington changes pace and changes direction. Great size for a freshman, goes about 6'5". A great strength. Putting up some pretty good numbers for a freshman. 13 points a game, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, and I think that's the key thing. He does a little bit of everything. Really good rebounder from that guard spot.
Wide open for 3. Rattles in and out, no good. And Pitt desperate for something to fall. The scoring drought now longer than 5 minutes here. They've missed 7 straight. Lob to Reid, who couldn't quite keep it in. Turnover.
Well, that's great team defense. Again, that's the adjustment by Pitt.
Reid went flying for that ball. 7-footer, 240 pounds.
He's down. Let's hope he's not hurt. Now, again, I didn't see the fall afterwards, but there's a lot of just stuff there. Again, you got some camera folks, some stairs, so let's just hope he didn't hit his head or also body on anything where he's going to be injured, and that's a good sign right there. He's up and walking. Again, right here, Hildreth trying to make that pass, but again, you see the help coming, and then he just kind of carried his momentum into the crowd. Ooh, the
cameraman took the charge.
Yeah, the cameraman might need some Advil after that one right there.
Blocker charge.
I'm going to go with, I'm going to give him the charge on that one for giving up his body.
Our cameraman Jared putting his body on the line there. Pittsburgh scoreless on 9 straight possessions. It's been more than 5 minutes and 30 seconds without a bucket. Leggett trying to change it, and he does. Leggett knocks down a big-time 3, much needed.
Both these teams shoot the ball so well from beyond the arc. That time, though, off the bounce.
Hildreth lost it. Leggett, who just hit the three, looking for more. Dishes it to Austin, who flies into contact. And it's an offensive foul. Wake Forest getting back with some transition defense. Leggett trying to will Pittsburgh back into it after a 5-minute scoreless drought. Finally got the triple.
At Domino's, we know life doesn't always go as
where bracketology begins to heat up, and I don't want to get in trouble with our colleague Joe Lunardi, who historically is very accurate with projecting the field of 68. But you look at what he has today. The ACC, a 3-bid league behind the Mountain West, the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the Big East. I don't love the net either, but it's closer to reality than Joe is. Look at the teams in the top 50 of the net. The ACC is the 3rd conference with 6 above the Big East, Big Ten, Pac-12, Mountain West. And I think if you look at the eye test, it should at least be a 6-bid league.
Well, I had a conversation with Joe Lunardi this morning, and we're going to get him on as we get closer to March because, again, some of these numbers, obviously, it's the debate every year as we get closer to March, as you take a look at who's in, who's out. For me, I'm just going to have a hard time believing that only 3 teams from the ACC should be in. I look at these teams like UVA, teams like Wake, teams like even a Miami, Virginia Tech. Eye test, I don't care what you say about what the numbers say. To me, I think they're worthy NCAA tournament teams, also to go along with some wins early on that can boost that.
That rattles in for the freshman Bub Carrington. Cuts the lead to 6. And he has led the way for the Panthers all season, but tonight no exception, 7 points. Reid lines up the 3. Can't knock it down.
And you'll live with that if you're Pitt. Efton Reid shooting 3s.
Leggett, step back. Got it! Back-to-back 3s. And just like that, it's a 1-possession game.
And that's a mismatch again. That time Carr on Leggett. He sees the mismatch, goes right at him. Beautiful step-back jumper.
Wake bunched up. Reid trying to clear out. He has had the better of Federico tonight. That time, Federico all over Reid. Great defense.
And you see the adjustment by Pitt. Again, now they're going to double. But right here, this is Leggett. Beautiful pass. You can't draw it up any better. Unselfish basketball. Dribble drive kick. And then Carrington gives it right back to him. Leggett going at Carr. Excellent offensive possessions back-to-back by Pitt.
Miller contested 3 as the buzzer sounds. Great defense by Pitt. They are right back in this game. They've made 3 in a row on a 6-0 run in the last minute. For the tie, Leggett left it short.
Heaving in the half court, the closeouts, and trying to keep the ball out of the paint if you're Wake.
Hunter Sallis, so crafty, off the window and in. He leads all scorers with 12.
Well, Jay, I love his mid-range. He showed off of 2 feet that time, though. Shoots a nice little floater high up over the defender. That's a big-time finish.
When Wake has needed a big-time bucket this season, it is usually in the hands of 23, Sallis.
Well, again, before off of 2 feet, right here, knows he needs to get it up quick. That's a tough floater over Federico by Hunter Sallis, the leading scorer for Wake. And he came into this one averaging 16, and I'll tell you what, he might get there before the half finishes.
A week from tonight, right here on ACC Network, a doubleheader that tips off in Syracuse at 7 as they take on Louisville, and then continues at Cameron Indoor And the Duke Blue Devils host Notre Dame. That is a week from tonight right here on ACC Network. A great conference game right now in Pitt. One possession game. Wake has led for most of this first half, but the Panthers battling back. Lob to Reid, and the 7-footer hammers it home.
That's a beautiful set play. So many actions on that half-court set by Wake. Finished with a beautiful lob by Sallis to Reid.
Federico answers with a slam of his own. The high flyer, Federico.
Both teams executing in their half-court.
Back and forth we go. Both of these teams outstanding offense and execution right now.
Well, Wake, again, we talked about it, leading the ACC. Close to 80 points per game.
Leggett lost the handle, but regathers it. Drives to the rim, misses the layup, bounces out to Sallis. Dangerous in transition. Leaves it for Hildreth. That rolls off the rim, no good. Tempo, back and forth game. Leggett connects.
Well, Leggett has been really big for Pitt in this game thus far. In the first half, he is step back threes. That time, though, nice little pull-up jumper from the foul line.
Sallis had it deflected. Up ahead, Hinson. He's a threat to shoot at all times. Backing down Hildreth, trying to bully his way in, and draws the foul. The Pitt has made 5 of the last 7 as the slam dunk contest broke out here in Pitt.
Well, right here, Efton Reid off the beautiful lob pass, and then Federico says right back at you. We got some excellent offense in this first half by both these teams.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
The Pitt backcourt has been the glue of this team so far tonight.
Yeah, credit Jeff Capel and staff. They've done a phenomenal job with this young backcourt. Right here, Carrington with the 3 off of excellent ball movement, and then right here in transition. I love the basketball IQ right here. That's a great read. Identify the mismatch, and then Leggett taking advantage of it with the step back. And you're absolutely right, Jay. That has been the strength for this Pitt team, their wings and also backcourt play.
And you think about the team that won 2 games in the NCAA tournament a year ago, that was built off a very veteran, talented backcourt, and they graduated and moved on. So the question was, well, who's going to step up for Pitt? And they relied on 2 freshmen and an impact transfer. To Jalen Lowe, one of those 2 freshmen, along with Bob Carrington, and they've had huge shoes to fill, and they've done it very, very well. You look at Lowe in the last 4 games, has been tremendous.
He has, and again, going back to, as these young players, as you take a look at Lowe off the high ball screen, I think that's what any coach looks for, trying to play your best basketball come February and March.
Defensive end continues to come up with turnovers. That's the 8th turnover caused in this first half. They've only turned it into 4 points, though.
And that's the key right there. We're trying to limit those, but again, obviously, Steve Forbes not happy with the turnovers. And I think, though, the glaring number is the paint. Right now, Wake is dominating the paint. 18-6 in favor of Wake Forest. They're doing a great job. A lot of that, though, Efton Reid establishing him, playing through him in the post.
Leggett's had the hot hand, lines up a 3. This one can't connect. Rupi Miller's been quiet, explodes, turns around, fades away, kicks to Sallis. Long 2, misfires.
One thing, though, that Wake has done against this Pitt team, cleaned up the defensive glass. Pitt came into this game one of the better offensive rebounding teams. Wake has limited those opportunities.
Collision there from Leggett and Miller. Hildreth on the bench with 3 fouls.
That's a veteran move right there by Boopy Miller. He just put on the brakes, got the rebound, knew that Leggett was behind him, and just stopped, put on the brakes, made him run into him. And again, that's just great recognition. If you're Boopy Miller, look, you're in the bonus. Those are 2 freebies for you.
He makes the front end.
Jay, Wake, a really good free throw shooting team as well. And again, I think that's key as you're trying to win these games on the road.
Missed the second. Yeah, Malcolm Wake shooting 80% on the season from the foul line. The Demon Deacons have led for most of this first half. Here's Hinson. Leggett into some contact, no call. Carr rips it away for Wake. Miller, pull up pop, perfect touch for Boopy Miller.
Key thing is off 2 feet. That's one thing that I noticed with these Wake guards and wings. That's under control, playing off of 2 feet. A beautiful body control by Boopy Miller.
Low in a double team. Trapped in the corner. Foot on the line. That's a turnover. Great pressure by Wake.
And that's great. Again, just recognition, seeing the guy in the corner, keep him in the trap. And then right here, again, playing off of 2 feet. Young players take note. Under control, off of 2 feet. That's excellent body control and touch in the mid-range.
Miller trying to shake his way free. Boopy Miller, so crafty. What a bucket.
Clinic. Well, that's a footwork clinic right there. Again, you can't show off any better footwork than what Boopy Miller did right there. Get in the lane, reverse pivot, and then finish. Right now, Wake on a roll.
Now, Malcolm, you just said a footwork clinic. You love watching Boopy Miller play.
Right here, again, off of 2 feet. And then the previous one going into break, it was a reverse pivot. Again, that is so key when you're a guard getting into the paint, being under control.
Contested shot goes begging from Carrington. Now Wake can hold for the final shot of this first half. They've built an 8-point lead. Sallis with under 10 to operate. Goes to work. Pull up pop. Draws the foul. An opportunity to make it a 10-point lead headed into halftime from the foul line.
Well, right before Sallis shot that shot, I was thinking to myself, if you're Pitt, that's the last thing you want to do is foul. And again, we talked about Wake Forest, one of the better free throw shooting teams in the country, not just in the ACC.
It becomes very difficult when you're playing a team that's shooting 80% from the foul line to come back late in game, because chances are they're not going to miss from the line, and it just becomes very difficult to claw back.
Well, 4.4 seconds left. So I'd say the same thing to Wake as well, too. Obviously, the last thing you want to do is foul in this situation. Plenty of time to get a couple of bounces, maybe a pass, before you shoot if you're Pitt, but you got to go quick.
Into Carrington. 3 seconds left in the half. Hoists it. Good if it goes, but off the mark. And Wake Forest closes the first half, holding Pitt to a 4-minute scoring drought and building a 10-point advantage on the road.
And then also Efton Reid out of the paint.
Hinson passes out of the double team. Federico, 2 chances at it, couldn't convert. Sallis weaving through all the way to the rim, everything but the finish. Stays Demon Deacons ball. Miller on the move. Kick to the corner, Hildreth sends it back to Miller. 3 seconds to shoot. Draws the contact. And Boopy Miller will head to the line.
And this is something the Pitt coaching staff talked about, in particular with Miller. You have to stay down on his head fakes. Again, we talked about him, and that's why it's so key playing off of 2 feet. You saw him that time again. He reverse pivoted about 2 times on that possession alone. Little shot fake gets him up in the air, and he's at the free throw line. Again, you have to stay disciplined in your defensive position. Right here, little head fake. Again, that's just crafty by Boopy Miller.
The largest lead of the night for Wake Forest. They've led the entire game. And now a 12-point lead here at the start of the second half. Carrington pull-up pop, left it short. You mentioned the offensive rebounds. That's the first of the night for Pittsburgh. Can they cash in? Here's Hinson. Only 5 points to his name in the first half. Count it, plus the foul. That's more like it for Blake Hinson.
Talk about playing off of 2 feet. This is a grown man move right here. Shot fake, and then take the smaller Miller through contact and one. Look at his eyes right there on the basket and rim the entire time. That's a tough finish through contact by Hinson.
Hinson, who Jeff Capel has told us his confidence when he gets going is contagious to this team.
And they are really pleased with the leadership that he has shown, the growth. More of a focal leader this year on this team. And again, we talked about the young backcourt. It has been huge for their growth.
Reid continuing to go to work on the low block. Efton Reid, he's put on a big man clinic tonight.
Well, they're going to have to double. Again, in that first half, the adjustment was they started doubling. They can't leave him alone against Reid, Federico. Goaltending
plus the foul. So an and one opportunity coming again for Pitt.
And this right here, again, you're going to have to double. He's just backing him down. Federico giving up too much weight. And then on the other end right here, Federico going right back at him. Not a smart play, though, by Reid. Again, that's a clear goaltend. Not sure that ball was going in if he tipped it, but again, that's an easy call for the refs to make.
They're over at the monitor. This will be a quick look.
Yeah, I mean, it hit the backboard first, and he clearly hit it afterwards. And I like that. Again, not much debate on that one right there. Make sure you get it right, but that's not one that you need to take a whole heck of a lot of time on. Both coaches using that little delay as a timeout. The ref trying to get them back to the free throw line and set up, but typically reviews take a little bit longer.
And it's two great coaching staffs. We really enjoy talking with Jeff Capel and Steve Forbes and our great production staff put together. These are the two reigning ACC coaches of the year. Capel last year and staff, and Forbes in year 21-22. They both took over programs that quite frankly, needed a rebuild. And what have they done? They've rebuilt them.
They really have, and I think both these coaches have done a great job. And the transfer portal, and then this year with Capel, the young backcourt, he's done a phenomenal job. And brother Jason on staff, Milan Brown, Coach Timmy O'Toole, those guys all do a great job, not only obviously manning the transfer portal, but then the development of these players when they get here.
You mentioned the backcourt experience with this young backcourt that Pitt's working with this year. 18 and a half. Whereas Wake, the average is more than 20. Ripped away. Here's Leggett. Pitt trying to get something in transition. Feels like they've come out with a much better energy in this second half.
Well, the key thing on that last defensive play, watch how Federico resists. Again, that's further out than Efton Reid has normally been getting. Federico shows some resistance and then keeps him further away from the basket, setting up to help to come in and take the steal. He needs more of that in this second half. That's great individual defense by Federico.
Leggett into the double team, missed it. Sallis keeps it in play for Wake. Great hustle play from Hunter Sallis, who leads all scorers with 14 points tonight.
Wake's got a mismatch down there.
It was Leggett.
Yeah,
Leggett was on Reid.
Yeah, and he did a great job blocking out as well, too.
Federico rejected by Reid. Travel on the other end.
But that's what Efton Reid brings to this Wake Forest team right here. Again, Federico does a great job running the floor. He's done that all day, but then the recovery, and that's what Reid brings. Again, close to 2 blocks per game.
And you don't want to harp on the bracketology stuff too much, but you hope the committee takes into account how good they've been with Reid. You look at their metrics, top 20 in offensive and defensive efficiency with Reid on the court. They're 9-3 since his return.
And Jay, that's a great point, and I think that's the part where, again, I don't get the analytics. Guys playing injured. Wake with Efton Reid versus without him, they're a completely different team. That's a 7-footer coming in, transferring from Gonzaga. Certainly, they are much better with a 7-footer that can score and also shot block in their lineup. And you're right, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, and an opportunity to get a critical road win tonight. This would be a quad 1 win. And you know, Wake Forest net 44. That's without Reid as well. You know, it takes the entire year into summary, and they're missing that quad 1 win, which they could get tonight. If they get that tonight, I think you'd have to put them in the field as it stands. And I think you'd put them in anyway, considering how good they've been with Reid back into the lineup.
Both these coaches, we asked them about that, and they had a lot to say about it. But at the end of the day, both of them said, and I agree, it's all about winning. Just win, baby, and everything else takes care of itself.
Yep. Especially if you can get a win on the road. Pitt has cut the lead to 6.
Beautiful pull-up jumper that time by the freshman, Carrington.
Sallis from the corner, way off the mark. Carrington finds low, contested 3. He misfires, gets his own rebound, kick out. Carrington missed it. Another look. Third time's the try. Scoop to the hoop. Leggett.
Offensive rebound. We talked about it. They had 0 in that first half. Second chance opportunity right here. Unselfish ball, and then Leggett with the reverse. Right now, Pitt on a run.
Pittsburgh is wearing tonight their "This Game Is No Secret" shooting shirts, recognizing the game played in 1943 between Duke and NC Central when Coach John McClendon organized a secret game against Duke. The McClendon Foundation Minority Leadership Initiative that began a few years back is so important to Jeff Capel and this Pitt program, Malcolm.
It really has, and they've been heavily involved, the university, along with Coach Capel, the Capel brothers. I had a great chance to talk with assistant coach Milan Brown as well, too, on Pitt staff. And again, they do a great job, obviously, the awareness and the importance of Mr. McClendon and their foundation, the work that they do.
Fredrickson with the shot clock at 10, buries it from the corner. That halts the 7-0 Pitt run. Great play out of the timeout.
Yeah, and also obviously breakdown by Pitt. Steve Forbes called Fredrickson one of the best shooters he's recruited. That time wide open, he's going to make you pay.
Hinson trying to answer from 3, can't connect. Up ahead, Hildreth splits the double team in transition, misses the layup. Sallis keeps it alive. Feeds it out to Carr at 3, and he can't connect.
The break right there. The Pitt coaching staff, along with Coach Capel, they felt Hinson was hit on that jumper previous possession.
Carrington weaving through. Leggett, step back. And that rattles in.
Leggett has been huge right now in double figures. 12 points for Pitt. Again, his mid-range has really been impressive tonight for Pitt.
They've gone right back to Reid. Federico gets the better of him this time. Scramble for the ball. It stays Wake's way. Now back and forth we go. A tough contested game between Wake and Pitt in the ACC.
Wake up 5 on the road, but a battle of the bigs right here. Efton Reid, the transfer from Gonzaga. Great footwork going right at Federico. And then on the other side right here, great work by Federico. These two, Jay, have gone at it. I think this is going to be a key in this game. Wake has done a really nice job trying to establish Reid and the post. Pitt has made some adjustments, doubling. But I think the key is going to be Federico. Can he push Reid further away from the basket?
And right on cue, right back to the post battle. Reid getting the better of Federico there.
And that time, Pitt, again, chooses not to double. I think you got to double or dig. I think, again, right now, Reid has the weight and strength advantage on Federico. He's just backing his way down.
Carrington trying to answer, and he does. The freshman not shy. He has met the moment throughout his first season here at Pitt.
And he is so impressive. Again, snaking ball screens and then holding players off as you take a look at great recovery defense. But this battle between Reid and Federico, I think, is going to decide this game. Wake is continuing to play through Reid right here. Great footwork and finish by Efton Reid.
And don't you think the Demon Deacons, when they've looked their best offensively, it has been through Reid?
Absolutely tonight, and that's the matchup they continue to go at.
Wake had the largest lead at 12. Pitt has cut it to 5. 5 seconds to shoot. Carrington finds Hinson. Step back, contested 3, rattles home. Blake Hinson hits it, and it's a 4-point game or 2-point game.
One of the more difficult contested shot makers in college basketball. That's not bad defense. That's just a guy that's one of the better players in the ACC.
Fredrickson looking for the answer. Can't find one. Bounces out Hildreth. Sends it into Carr. He's trying to muscle on Federico. 10 seconds on the timer. Here's Sallis. Yet to score in this second half. Lost the handle. Leggett sends it up for Federico. That's a jump ball between Federico and Reid. Now Blake Hinson He's been a little quiet for his standards tonight, but a big triple here.
Yeah, one of the more difficult shot makers. Not bad D. That's Blake Hinson right there doing what he does best.
Okay, so Domino's perfect combo includes 2 medium, 1 topping pieces.
This is number 8, Kansas.
There's nowhere better than Allen Fieldhouse, nowhere.
Then it's round 1 of Duke Carrington.
Well, Pitt on the season 3-6 in ACC play, and when you look at what happens in wins versus losses, it falls on the shoulders of Blake Hinson. 55% from 3 in the wins, just 31% in the losses.
Yeah, and again, he's the focal point. He's right at the top of the scouting report. Anytime Pitt is playing, you look at what he's done tonight. Struggled in that first half, starting to heat up. They're going to obviously need his production and also leadership to close this game out.
And sitting at 50%, so that's closer to a win than a loss. Pitt still trailing by 2. Under 12 minutes left in regulation here. You get the feeling that this game's just going to come down to the final possession. And remember, when they played a year ago, Hinson hit 8 threes against Wake Forest. He's had back-to-back seasons for Pitt that have just been terrific. In fact, he's just the 4th Pitt player to make 70 or more threes in consecutive years, and Monsanto answers with a triple of his own.
Jay, that's a breakdown. That's a breakdown in the scouting report. Monsanto, that's what he's out there to do. He is a guy that you have to be connected to. Cannot give him that much airspace. That's a big 3 for Wake.
Right back to Hinson. This time he takes it right to the rack for 2.
Let's see the adjustment that Pitt makes. Got to communicate on the actions that Wake Forest runs. Again, they use a lot of ball screens, wheel cuts, zoom actions. Communication is key.
Sallis left open. Offensive rebound falls to Fredrickson. He can't connect. Wake getting good looks, they just can't finish.
Yeah, again, if you're Steve Forbes, you'll live with that. Offensive rebound, one of the better times to get a 3. Fredrickson wide open, just short.
Wake shooting just 4 of 15 in this second half. It's allowed Pitt to take a 12-point deficit and tie it up. Bub Carrington drills it to tie it at 49.
Oh, this freshman does not play like a freshman. Basketball IQ off the charts, and the zoo is alive.
Into Reid. Lefty hook to perfection. Efton Reid delivers again.
Got a double. Diggins not going to work. Faking Diggins not going to work. Efton Reid right now just too much weight and strength for Federico in the post. You got to bring some help to help him when he gets the ball in the post.
Hinson driving again, met by Reid. Foul called, and Hinson a chance to tie it at the foul line.
Right there, that's 2 grown men. Again, right here, Hinson, again, this is the dimension he's added to his game. You know he can shoot, but then right here, 2 grown men trying to go at the rim. Reid met him. Hinson goes through it. Now he's at the free throw line. And we talked about the importance of Blake Hinson to this Pitt team. And again, the coaching staff really raving about his leadership and the role that he's taken this year with this young backcourt.
That rattles out no good on the first. You take a look at this Pitt program, and coming off an NCAA tournament appearance where they went and won 2 games, lost a lot from the backcourt, but Hinson returns, and I think a lot of people thought Pitt would be a lot better than their 3-6 ACC record. They've been terrific on the road. Went to Cameron Indoor and beat a ranked Duke team. The home court advantage they usually have at the Pete has not delivered in conference play. They are 0-4 here at home in ACC play. A great chance to change that in the final 10 minutes here. But that is unlike this program.
And for me, though, I think it goes to the strength of this conference.
Yes.
Again, they're playing a really good in my opinion, a tournament team in Wake Forest. Again, they have had some tough competition, but make no mistake about it, they're going to have to try to close this game out.
Efton Reid. Everything going through Reid at the moment, and why not? Because he keeps delivering.
Grown man move. Again, he's taking his time, and the problem with playing a team like Wake, we talked about it. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. If you double, they'll make you pay.
Carrington pulls up from 3. Too much on it. It falls to Leggett. He hoists and knocks it down. Leggett been on fire all night.
Player of the game for Pitt. His offense in that first half, he continues it in the second. Second chance opportunity right there. Pitt, one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the ACC.
Sallis turnaround, knocks it down. These two teams going punch for punch in an ACC heavyweight fight.
If you want to show young players how to play off of 2 feet, watch the Wake players. Sallis again that time, off of 2 feet, reverse pivot into his mid-range.
Carrington pull up, he's fouled.
And right here, again, we talked about it. The offensive rebounds, heads up play, and then Leggett, and then on the other end, Hunter Sallis. Watch this footwork. Reverse pivot, off of 2 feet. You can't do it any better. High-end, high-level basketball, both these teams in the half court.
Pittsburgh trailed by 12 at the start of this second half. They have battled back to tie it on a number of occasions, and they might tie it right here on the second Carrington foul shot, but they have not led even for 1 second tonight. Hinson checks back into the game, tied at 55.
Smaller lineup in here for Pitt. So now, obviously, you're going to have to show some help if Wake continues to play through Efton Reid.
Reid calling for it. And Jeffress called for the foul. He was all over Reid there trying to deny the ball. Efton Reid, he's got a season-high 14 points, trying to will Wake Forest to a critical road win, all tied at 55. 10 matchups on ESPN this Saturday. You take a look at the ACC, Carolina and Duke at the top, and then there's a logjam. Really? Virginia all the way down on to Pitt. The top 12, there's just not much to separate.
And for me, again, we could go on and on about the strength of this conference. For me, I think it's a shame. There are some quality teams that are logjammed right in that middle, and Wake, one of those teams.
Coming out of the timeout, trying to regain this lead. Boopy Miller, a man on a mission. Everything but the finish. And they say it was off Wake Forest last, so Pitt basketball.
And that's a great job of team rebounding and blocking out by Pitt. Again, they got a smaller lineup out there right now. It's going to take all 5 guys to get on the defensive glass.
Off the mark, offensive rebound. And Lowe, the freshman, mishandled it.
In that first half, Pitt, 0 offensive rebounds. They've woken up in the second half. And what their bigs do, they do a great job tipping the ball back out. So if they can't get it, they try to tip it back out to have one of their teammates get it. Do a great job attacking the offensive glass.
Miller, another turnover. Here's Carrington. draws the foul. A chance for Bub Carrington to give Pitt their first lead of the night from the foul line.
This right here, all set up by the defense. Again, active in the passing lane, and in Carrington, so good, changing direction, a little hesitation right there, and so impressed with his court awareness, his ability to change speeds, change direction. Great size for a guard.
He leads all scorers with 17 points tonight, and with that made free throw, it's the first time Pitt has taken the lead all night long. They've tied it 6 times, but this is the first time Pitt is in front. And what a bounce back it is for the freshman. Only 4 points at Miami over the weekend, now 18 to lead the Panthers. Sallis weaving through traffic, and that rattles in, ties it at 57.
He's so under control through traffic, that time weaving through, and just nonchalantly lays it up off the glass. That's a tough shot. He made it look easy. Great body control by Hunter Sallis.
Leggett, deep three, drills it! Leggett!
He has been on fire tonight. He scored at all 3 levels. That time, a deep 3.
Sallis thought about the 3, gives it up to Hildreth. Inside Reid. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Hildreth lines it up. Missed it. Count it! Plus the foul. Leggett has taken over.
That's the best defense to offense transition, and it's all set up by their defense right here. A beautiful dribble drive by the freshman to Leggett, and then right here, and 1 for Leggett. Off of the great defense, body control, and 1, and Pitt on a run, and it's all set up, though, Jay, by their team defense. Smaller lineup out there. They're just being active in the passing lanes.
Can't convert the and 1, but Leggett has the last 5 points for Pitt. And a season-high 20 points for the transfer from Rhode Island.
Well, if I'm Wake Forest, I'm going at Efton Reid. Play through him. Don't have him up out on the perimeter. Set a high ball screen and then dive him to the post. See if you can get a paint touch.
Sallis off the mark. Pitt has dialed it in defensively. And from down 12 to up 5 with 5 minutes left. A 17-point swing in this second half. Looking for more. Carrington got it!
The elevation on his pull-up game is some of the best I've seen for a freshman guard.
Hildreth had to get creative there. Just threw it off Hinson. He was in trouble.
And watch this high ball screen right here. Again, Reid flattens out too late. Great elevation by the freshman Carrington.
And timeout, Steve Forbes. With Pittsburgh on a 7-0 run. Wake up against it on the road. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Carrington and Leggett, they each have 20 points apiece, a combined 40, and they have just found another gear down the stretch in this second half.
And a high ball screens, Wake Forest now is going to have to adjust. Reid has flattened out on ball screens. He's going to have to show harder or hedge harder to slow down the guards of Pitt.
Hildreth battling his way to the bucket, up and in for 2. Great play out of the timeout.
And that's where they need to go. Again, they've been settling for jumpers. Attack the paint. Again, Pitt out there with a smaller lineup. Dribble drives or try to get Reid back established on the offensive side.
Jeffress couldn't control it. He was off Reid last, so it'll stay Pitt's way. You mentioned points in the paint. Wake, 30 points in the paint, and yet you're right, they've went away from that in the second half.
And I think that's where they need to go to close this game out. Let Efton Reid get some touches.
Reid commits the foul, had both hands on Carrington.
This game is getting chippy and physical. Right
that's
here,
his 4th foul.
Yeah, Reid stepping out hard. Again, that's the adjustment, but that's what you want to do if you're Pitt. They've continued to attack Efton Reid in high ball screens. And great recognition by Jeff Capel and staff. Again, they just put Reid in ball screens, make him defend way out on the perimeter.
Rattled in and out, no good. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And Steve Forbes electing to leave Efton Reid on the court with 4 fouls.
Well, if I'm Wake, I'm going right at Reid. Again, just dive him to the post. Let him get a paint touch.
He's calling for it. Hildreth can't shake free. 10 seconds to shoot. Hildreth still with it. Carr from the corner. Missed it. Reid bats it out. A ton of contact. Jefferson Reid pushing and shoving. Very risky because Reid has 4 fouls. There was never a whistle.
I'm surprised. There's a lot of contact on that one. I thought they might have got him for an over the back, but then after, a lot of extracurricular pushing and shoving.
Carrington step back 3, missed it. It falls to Hinson, another offensive rebound. Swatted out of bounds. It's gotten chippy here in Pitt. Physical game down the stretch. The Panthers clinging to a 5-point advantage. Emotions have reached a fever pitch here in Pittsburgh in a critical conference game, and you can feel how much it means to both teams battling for every ball. And there was a skirmish right before the break between Efton Reid and William Jeffress going for a rebound. Reid is in the game playing with 4 fouls. Let's show it to you again. Jeffress, great block out.
And he has been key once he's been. To me, that's an over the back. I mean, that's an over the back right there. And then afterwards, again, Jeffress trying to get him off him, and Reid very lucky. The ref talking to him right now. That's a break for Wake Forest. Very fortunate that Reid did not pick up his 5th foul.
And he'd be out of this game for the final 3 minutes. Pitt with the basketball, leading by 5. The Oakland Zoo in full voice. 2 teams battling on the NCAA tournament bubble. And a big-time jam! William Jeffress on a rack attack!
Beautiful set play. That's a set play out of bounds underneath. You can't execute it any better. Fake the ball handoff. Jeffress kept it, and that's a monster dunk. Beautiful execution out of bounds underneath.
Wake in the danger zone, trailing by 7. Reid lost it. Leggett, scoop to the hoop. A career-high 22 for Leggett. Sallis trying to spin his way free. 2 minutes left. Miller gets the layup to go.
Now if you're Pitt, run some clock. And I think you're going to put Efton Reid in high ball screens. That has been the formula for them. Get Reid in a ball screen and force him to defend out on the perimeter.
Leggett's had the hot hand all night. Carr, the rejection that time. Shot clock down to 3. And a timeout by Pitt.
And this out of bounds underneath right here. Again, that's all set up. And Jeffress with the fake handoff and slam. That's a beautifully executed play by Jeff Capel. And then on the other end, Leggett in transition, all set up by excellent defense. And that has been the key for Pitt in this run and turnaround. 1:33 to go, Jay. They're up 7. Pitt, I think the key has been their defense on Efton Reid and keeping Wake out of the paint.
Well, they have outscored Wake by 17 in this second half. And they are 1:33 from closing in on what would be their first conference home win this season. They will have won 3 of their last 4. They're really hitting their stride as this season heads into February. 3 seconds on the shot clock coming out of the timeout. Hinson called for the offensive foul. They're going to call Hinson for the hook.
And Jeff Capel felt like he was pushed first. That's a big break. Let's see if he got him on the hook. Yeah, that's, again, you can argue that he pushed him before, but certainly that's a hook. And
Miller gives it right back. Turnovers have been so costly for Wake Forest tonight. That's now 15 against the Demon Deacons.
Well, I feel like they've stalled in their offense. Again, in that first half, they were running sets, and then they were getting Reid posted. Now they're having issues entering the ball into the post. Right now, though, if you're Wake, you got your full court pressure on. Again, make sure you don't get beat going long.
Leggett hoists it up to Hinson. Hinson into contact. Blake Hinson making winning plays for Pitt.
And that's what I just said. There was no safety back for Wake. All 5 guys were face guarding. Throw over the top. Nice little post up. And then right here, beautiful finish by Blake Hinson. And that's a breakdown by Wake. Again, you have to have somebody over the top. Great recognition. They brought guys up and then had Hinson going long. The execution at the end of this game, really, if you look back at it, if Pitt is able to end with the win, the out of bounds underneath, and then that time, out of bounds have to go the full length of the court.
What a turnaround. Pitt trailed by as many as 12 in this second half, now leading by 10. Sallis. Wake is fallen ice cold. Reid punches it out. Hildreth. Time running off the clock. I'm going to say it's Wake ball. Obviously, they'll review it at the monitor.
And I think this is critical right here. Again, I like that they can go and review this. I think one of the great rule changes, one of the great, I think, things in the game, make sure the refs get this right. They're going to review it. Again, from our angle, we were blocked. I still think it's going to stay with Wake in this situation. Take a look right here again. Hildreth not settling for the 3. Yeah, again, I don't see how you reverse that. I think that's still going to be Wake ball. Yeah.
It looks like it's swiped out of Hildreth's hands.
Yeah, I think that's going to be off of Leggett, and that's going to probably remain Wake ball. Again, I didn't see anything hit his foot afterwards. Again, the strip. Yeah, and the ball clearly. I think that's going to stay with Wake. Now, again, if you're Wake, 1:04 to go. You certainly don't need a 3, but as you take a look at what's at stake for both of these teams.
Well, what's funny is we've talked about how both of these teams are trying to separate from the ACC pack. If this result holds, all it's going to do is make the pack even tighter.
And for me, again, I know a lot of people do metrics and there's net and all this other stuff going on. For me, there are so many quality teams. You take a look at this right here. Clemson in the top 40 within the net. And they're a team that's almost down near the bottom half of the ACC. You can't tell me they're not a tournament team. Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Miami, NC State, Wake Forest. I mean, look, there's so many teams in there. I have a hard time buying that there's only 3 teams that are going to get into the NCAA tournament. To me, that's crazy. Crazy talk. And you take a look at the ACC teams in the net top 50. Numbers don't lie, and some of these teams also have some quality wins against other conferences. So again, when you look at it as a whole, yes, obviously strength of conference is a great thing, but these teams are just beating up on each other in league play.
No doubt about it. And I think if you look at the conferences head-to-head, the ACC against the Big 12 is 9-3. So if you want to look at head-to-head, there it is.
Again, you can make an argument for anything. For me, everybody talks about the eye test. I see a lot of really good teams in the ACC.
We just showed you 1 to 12 in the ACC. There's really not much to separate these teams. We saw that last night with Georgia Tech beating Carolina. You know, the depth in this conference is really the strong point, and Pitt has shown that tonight. Frederick's in a 3. Wake needs it. They can't connect. Hildreth trying to keep this game alive. Cross-court pass to Carr. He has to heave it. Reid. This is 3 offensive rebounds, and finally a made bucket from Hildreth. But a lot of clock ran off, down to 48 seconds left.
Now, Wake got beat long once. Let's see if they keep somebody back.
Timeout, Jeff Capel. Did not want to risk a 5-second call. But Jeff Capel and his coaching staff, I think this has been a masterclass of in-game adjustments. They were down 12 in the second half, and they turned this game around.
And it all set up by their defense as you take a look at Carrington off the high ball screen. Leggett getting into the action. Carrington again. I think the key thing is this guy right here, though. Jeffress was huge. When he came into the game, the job that he did pushing Efton Reid out was huge.
So since Efton Reid last scored at the 9:25 mark, Pitt has outscored Wake 21-10. They are outscoring the Demon Deacons 44-26 in the second half. That's in-game adjustments coming up clutch for Pitt.
I think the adjustment on Reid, that has been the key. He had his way with them in the first half. They played through him. Obviously, Hunter Sallis had a big first half. But for me, the ability for them to keep Wake out of the paint in the second half has allowed them to get out in transition, and that has been the key to the game.
You know, this might feel like a missed opportunity for Wake. Quad 1 road win. You were leading by 12 in the second half, but I don't think this was a Demon Deacons collapse. More so it was Pitt playing really well, trying to close it out, and they turned it over. Wake has life if they can convert here. Sallis going right at Jeffress. Fredrickson fouled shooting 3. Carrington closed out on him and committed the foul.
The one thing you can't do, turn it over and then foul a three-point shooter in that situation. Again, growing pains with this young backcourt. But again, this is just a poor closeout, and that's a foul. Again, you hit him on his follow-through, clearly impacted the shot. And again, he will learn. He's so talented, one of the better freshmen, not just in the ACC, but in college. But that's a breakdown right there at the end of the game.
And Fredrickson, the freshman. Wake Forest, an 80% foul shooting team on the season, but the freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma, missed that one.
And they really rave about this, the young guard. Steve Forbes said he's one of the best shooters he's recruited. That's saying a lot. He's been around and had some really good shooters. Makes 2 out of 3. Cut this deficit to 6 for Wake Forest.
2-possession game. The foul comes in off the ball. Well, we just showed you how good Wake has been foul shooting. It's been a problem for Pitt closing out games. Shooting foul shots reliably. 68%, 288th in D1. And here's Jalen Lowe, the freshman, at the line.
Low in conference play, 72% from the free throw line. Hits the first. That is huge to make this a 3-possession game.
Lowe got them both. So time not on Wake's side, trailing by 8. They need points in a hurry. They get it with Sallis. One-handed jam. Carrington fouled immediately.
And that's communication right there. Jeff Capel not happy with this team. Again, no communication right here. Hinson is supposed to pick up. Breakdown in communication, and that's just too quick. Again, if you're Pitt, you don't want to give up twos that quick. You want to show some resistance without fouling, and 28.1 seconds left in basketball. That's an eternity. Again, if you're Pitt right now, Jeff Capel talking to his team about defensive assignments. Again, you're going to switch anything, in particular with this lineup right here. You'll give up twos. You just don't want to give up threes uncontested or twos that quick. Communication's key right here for Pitt to close this game out.
Rattles home for Carrington. He's up to 21 points on the night. How good has the Pitt backcourt been this evening?
Well, they have found a really dynamic backcourt. Credit Jeff Capel and his staff. They have found 2 really good freshman guards, and they have been on display tonight. Carrington putting up big numbers, and the poise and basketball IQ really has been good for both.
Wake has to hurry. Carr corrals it, but a lot of time coming off the clock. Carr leans into it and hits it from 3. 5-point game, 16.4 remaining. Steve Forbes uses his final timeout.
Well, the problem with that play, took way too much time to develop. Again, if you're Wake, you got to get into your offense better. Again, right here, almost a turnover, and you'll live with this if you're Jeff Capel. Again, great contest. You just don't want to give up an open one without fouling. But again, way too much time went off on that possession. Tough shot, though, by Carr. And now the question is, can you get the ball inbounded and make free throws to close this game out if you're Pitt? I think the key thing is you can get somebody running long. If Wake comes out face guarding, they have no more timeouts. You have to try to run somebody long, see if you can either get a layup or run some clock. Key thing is, though, get the ball inbounds and then try to close this game out with made free throws.
And Bub Carrington, by the way, the star freshman, a career-high 22 points for Pitt after those made foul shots. He and Ish Leggett, 22 points apiece, season highs for the dynamic duo. A Pitt team that trailed by 12 in this second half.
And Leggett has been huge for Pitt off the bench. Past 3 games off the bench, came into this one averaging 13 points a game, 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And tonight he was huge off the bench, 22 points, 9 of 16 from the floor. He scored at all 3 levels, drives, threes, and also the mid-range. Let's see what Jeff Capel drew up right here.
Carrington in the corner, bumped by Monsanto. So the freshman will head back to the foul line to add to what is already a career high. Just 18 years old. He is so mature beyond his years.
And that's the thing the coaching staff has talked about. I've been impressed with his mid-range. Again, his ability to come off high ball screens and raise up. He's got great elevation and a high release point on his pull-up jumper. Great size for a guard, goes about 6'5", and Jeff Capel and staff are very happy with the future holds for this young man at the free throw line.
Made them both. He has been clutch down the stretch. 4 made free throws in a row for the freshman. And Wake the clock against them. Sallis another quick 2. 10 seconds remaining. Risky pass. Wake has it. They have to convert. 5 seconds left. Sallis decides to put a floater up and misses. And Pitt holds on for a critical conference win.